Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Chizi Nyomasila, a regular on Open Conversation and also the leader, ICU Group. Good morning, Chizi, and welcome.
Good morning, Dorisha. You look good on this gown.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Chizi, and you look good as well. And moving on to the story. Rivers State House of Assembly failed to reconvene on Thursday as scheduled, allowing the 7-day ultimatum it issued to Governor Similaye Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, to lapse without further action. The development has slowed the momentum of the impeachment process and raised fresh uncertainty over the next steps in the state's prolonged political crisis. Lawmakers led by Speaker Martin Amehule had on January 8 invoked Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution, accusing the governor and his deputy of gross misconduct, including the demolition of the assembly complex and spending without legislative approval. However, checks at the assembly complex on January 15 showed no plenary sitting, with the gates locked and security personnel on duty, while a committee chairman earlier informed journalists that the House would not sit. The stalled sitting came amid growing political pushback, including public appeals by 4 lawmakers for restraint and dialogue, as well as reported displeasure from other political leaders over the impeachment move. Despite the tension, Governor Fubara has continued his political official duties, avoiding public comments on the crisis as calls for reconciliation and a political solution intensify. Chizi, what do you make of this story?
Firstly, I thought the language failed. Failed means that they wanted to reconvene and then maybe something just stopped them. It's just that you remember that there was a time that the assembly went on recess and people were saying, why would they reconvene without prayer notice? They just reconvened. And so it is within the rights of the assembly to sit if they want to sit, but that does not stop the days apportioned for anything. I mean, if they had given you 7 days, for instance, those 7 days does not say until we sit that the 7 days have elapsed. No, but if 7 days have elapsed, you have a right to either write them or all of that. But of course, if you look at also the rider, you will notice that there are some underwires, going through. The assembly also represents people. There are constituents who they will also need
to know
to possibly go to brief. I am aware that Honorable Lemchi Prince, met with the Ikwere yesterday. I mean, no, that was the day before yesterday.
Ikwere what?
Ikwere, his constituency.
His constituency, yes, Ikwere, yes. All right.
He met with.
And you are part of his constituency,
yes.
All right.
And then to also know from us what is our take on the issues, because, like a lot of people are beginning to call for peace, and even though some of us have said openly, before him, that yes, we want peace. Yes, who wouldn't like for his state to be peaceful? But that it looks like Fubara had constantly, abridged the peace, because there was agreement even before they went to the president, and there was an agreement signed before the president, and there was agreement after they called for the declaration of emergency, and all of those things were thwarted. So why are we sure that these ones who are coming will also not be that? But even that you can give somebody a chance over and over again. And so what the assembly is actually doing is to consult with constituents, listen to elders, listen to opinion leaders, give them their own version of the story. And they have not withdrawn it. It's only when they have withdrawn that, you see, when you move a motion for impeachment and the required number has supported that, the other things that can happen is that the judge, after the governor has replied, is that the judge will constitute a 7-man panel. Should the judge not even do that after 7 days? That's what people don't understand. Now the judge has not even done that after 7 days.
The chief judge.
The chief judge. Should the judge not do that? The assembly will constitute a 7-man.
That's after 14 days.
After 14 days, okay.
Yes.
The assembly will also have rights to constitute their own 7-man panel, which in their own opinion, they are just to not be biased. And so those things are there. They have not withdrawn it. It's only when they have withdrawn it, they're still consulting. And so when you see, oh, this one is there, and the other one is doing that, and the other one is doing that, you wait until after the panel. And now, let me tell you, the job of the assembly is slated by giving those notices. Now, the next job is the panel that will so constituted. And that panel, when they come with a recommendation that what you have done is okay, it goes. So there is no need, looking at what the assembly will be doing or what the assembly will not be doing. What the assembly right now is doing is consulting.
Okay.
And that's exactly what they're doing. I'm not speaking for the assembly. I'm not the spokesperson for the assembly. No wonder it wasn't to the assembly members. It wasn't a coincidence that they didn't meet yesterday.
All right. Now, I want to clear something. Was the governor and deputy governor, were they served the impeachment notice?
Yes, of course.
Because there have been controversies around that. There have been controversies around that, whether they've been served or not. Have they been served?
They've been served.
Now, if they have been served, now it's expected, because the due process is that after 14 days, the governor is expected to, within that 14 days, respond to the allegations on the impeachment notice.
Yes.
And after the governor responds to these allegations, now the House will convene to look at that, and then there will be onward. Of course, it will not be sent to the Chief Justice of the state, who will now convene a panel. So one would say probably 7 days has elapsed, correct?
Yes.
So we are waiting for another 7 days, and we are hoping that the governor will respond to these allegations. But then there have been controversies, to that effect, that the governor has not been served.
Well, we are yet to see that. You see, service goes in different ways. People must understand that in the today's, there was a time during those crises that people said, oh, governor was being served, governor was not notified, and then an SSG responded and said he only responded to this because he saw it via the social media, and that means that you saw it. The problem is that when people begin to say something, you must understand, the reason for service is for you to respond to what they have served. Now, they can serve you publicly. They can also go on newspapers. They can go on newspapers. They can serve you by pasting it at the government house. They can serve it by sending it through email or through whatever means that gets to you. And of course, they have their evidence that this thing is being served. They have their evidence. They sent it through a courier system. And the courier system has your, what's it called? Is it acceptance or received?
Receipts.
Yes, receipts.
Yeah.
Showing that in government has been served. So as soon as you serve food in government house, you mustn't serve it in hand to hand. You can serve it in government house. You can paste it in government house.
Now, to a large extent, if the governor does not respond at the end of at the expiration of 14 days, what will be the next step?
Now, if the governor does not respond, and assuming again that the impeachment process is still ongoing, no wonder the assembly didn't meet, because what would they be meeting for? His window for response has not elapsed. Now, if the governor has not responded, it is left for the assembly to now to sit down and then constitute a panel and then go ahead with whatever they want to do. As soon as it's announced impeached, it's impeached.
Now, so to a large extent, these stories going on, within the media space that the impeachment has been stalled because the assembly did not convene yesterday at the expiration of the 7 days ultimatum. You're saying you're of the opinion that it didn't change anything, that the assembly not convening does not mean that the impeachment has been stalled.
Two things. Right. Two things. I can tell you that the assembly met this morning, even before this time.
A plenary or just a casual meeting?
A plenary. Now, you see, the thing people don't understand is that sometimes the assembly can meet without the public notice. They don't need the public notice. They don't need that. Now, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that the assembly didn't meet does not stop, because there's a process. There are days allocated for the windows that you have to respond. Now, again, let me also tell you, whether you respond or not does not stall the impeachment process. Now, if you don't respond, it only can mean yes to all the allegations. That's what people do. As long as they can prove that an email has been sent and it's been accepted there, or is published in a national newspaper, and of course, which we know that has been met, we also know that they've sent it there. They can continue to do that. That is, if the political angle fails again, or if they have accepted, because you see, the assembly is not assembly because, let me use Martin Samehule, because it's Martin Samehule. It's assembly because it's representing constituencies. And so they need to go back to their constituencies to also consult their constituencies. And upon that, what they need to do, is to thought. And what is it to thought? Define what the to thought is. Right now, you will understand that for now, the assembly is operating within 27-member assembly. Why? Because the others, apart from even being expired, has not attended preliminary, so they can't be counted. So the third will be calculated via the 27. And again, even if you wanted to go to...
I had a lawyer yesterday on my show, Barrister Sims. You know Barrister Sims Adams, of course. He said, I asked him the same question. Will the majority be constituted by 27 seats or by 32 seats? Yes? 32. Or 32 seats. He said it will be constituted by 32.
No.
Not 27.
Majority, no. That's not true. You know, one thing about the law is that people who wants to defend the law uses a section. You know, there's something we call the community understanding of the letters of the law. Right? Now, you and I know that the Constitution says for a state assembly, it must not be less than 25, right? That means for you to be a state assembly, to to have a state assembly, it's a 25-member state assembly. Now, if you have 32 members, assuming nobody is absent, and assuming and 20 didn't come, that you didn't come for meeting does not stop them from calculating that percentage. No, that's not true. That's not true. Because you see, why do they need two-third majority to impeach a governor? Why do they need two-third majority? What is two-third majority of 32? Now, we lost one person. So let me say 31. I'm even thinking or wanting to believe that all of the 31s are also members and they didn't come. Now, what is the two-third majority of the 31 person? What is the two-third majority? Two-third majority is divide the 31 into 3 and take 2, isn't it?
That's roughly 20, 21.
That's roughly 20 because there's no half in human beings, so maybe 21. Because, of course, you know there was a litigation or there was a court, there was a technicality that was argued by the late Seg Awolowo in 1989. About what constitutes the 23rd of a 90 states, because he knows definitely that you can't get, and you cannot approximate human beings. That's what he said. But right now, assuming again that he said is this, it's going to be 21. All of those persons who says, oh please, let's appeal. The fact, and again, you know, after I left this place, I then went and understood that the fact that those people are appealing for peace does not mean that they are not in support of the impeachment process. Get what I'm saying? They are only saying, we are going to meet Lauricia to see whether Lauricia can come to this place. Should Lauricia not come, we will vote. Now, even if they don't vote and 21 person votes,
it's still majority.
It's majority. That's why, that's democracy. Democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Government of the majority. No wonder you see that you hardly can see 360 persons sit in the House of Reps, as in the case of the National Assembly. Neither will you see 109 persons sit. But as soon as they know that they have constituted majority, they will go ahead, and it is the opinion or the laws of the nation, whether you are there or not. It is only when you come below the 1/3 that the question will be raised.
Okay.
But as soon as you are within that 1/3, in fact, the reason why democracy is very dangerous is assuming without conceding that all of the 32 persons are there, and only 21 person decides to be meeting in the local government. That's the way assembly is. And only 21 person decides to be taking opinions on. That's where, because the thing will be on the majority. You don't need them. As soon as Now, you know what? Look at what law will say. If I say, for instance, that there is a notice of meeting, and you say you didn't see the notice of meeting, and out of 32 persons, 24 persons comes and say there was no notice of meeting. Look ordinarily, assuming they are even lying, 24 comes and say there is a notice of meeting. How would a judge look at them and say what the 6 other persons or 8 other persons are saying are true? No, because the majority has carried the vote. That's the problem with majority. It does not matter. Let me drag you. I'm not a pastor, but I'm a Christian. Let me drag you to the judgment of Jesus Christ. The judge, being Pilate now, sacked and said, should we release to you this person or release to you? They said release this person. And he said this guy did not do anything. The majority said crucify him. Majority can't vote. That's democracy for you. You can't do nothing in democracy. You see, one thing about democracy, it is the tyranny of the majority. So majority can decide anything. It is the tyranny because in the eyes of the crafters of democratic system, they believe that there is no way a two-third will be wrong. That's their believing. Of course, we are human beings, the frailty of man. You know that the majority can be wrong, but they believe that as long as it's majority and they have accepted it and they have gone through the process, that is the opinion of the House. You can do any other thing. For instance, even in the judiciary, when the Supreme Court sits, of course, the maximum of 7 persons will sit at a time. Even if the chief judge, when the chief judge reads a judgment, you know what the chief judge will do? He will say, this judge, what do you say? I support. This one I don't support. This one, if 4 out of the 7 says I don't support, that is judgment is null and void. If 4 says I support and 3 says no, it doesn't matter the wisdom in their opinion. This is the judgment. So we are in a democratic system, and in the democratic system, you see, unlike any other system of government, the democratic system is anchored on the legislative arm. That's why it's dangerous. And so once you don't see the legislator cooperating with the executive, it means we are running any other system outside democracy. And so when people are saying this, people should understand, assuming you said, okay, 4 has gone this way again, what will the number be coming to? Until you get a majority. You can't alter what they have said. So when people come to say, oh no, it's been stored, we have a way of hasty conclusion. It's been stored. You are begging somebody to stop the impeachment. You are saying the impeachment have been stored. What are you saying? Are you offending them the more? Are you saying, because what will the constituents do? These people can also say, no, we are not going to listen to our constituents. We're going to do what we want to do. The highest the constituents can do 2 things. Either to go back and recall them, or wait for them in this election and not vote for them. But what they have said becomes legal.
All right, very well. Moving forward, Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers has intervened in the political crisis rocking the state following impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. The monarch's move is aimed at calming tensions and preventing further escalation between the executive and the Rivers State House of Assembly. To achieve this, the council constituted a 9-member mediation committee chaired by King Saunu T.Y. Baridam, with Eze Wachukwu Nnam Obi serving as co-chairman. Other members include prominent traditional rulers and respected professionals drawn from across the state, while Barrister Darlington Owuriwa was appointed secretary. The committee is mandated to interface with key stakeholders and propose sustainable solutions to restore peace and stability in Rivers State. In a statement issued in Port Harcourt, the council's chairman, Eze Chike Wolu Wodo, urged all factions supporters and social media users to exercise restraint in their comments and actions. He appealed to residents to refrain from conduct capable of breaching public peace, stressing that the traditional institution remains committed to dialogue, reconciliation, and the overall unity of the state. Cheesy.
Yes, I welcome this with my whole heart. You know,
Okay.
this is what I have advocated. Even the PANDIF has also constituted committee for reconciliation. You know, remember in the heat of this crisis, I did say that it was a failure on the part of our elders, and that our elders need to be defined on the part of our elders and, you know, elder statesmen in this time, that the River State crisis will not be resolved in Asu Rock, that it was a failure on our part. And so it looks to me that they didn't stand up on time, right? Now when they came back and they find out that, okay, this is now happening, and I like their language. If they had used a foul language, I would tell them that that's not the language is, oh, they are asking people to, you know, to exercise restraint. Let's see how we can reconcile. Let's see how we can dialogue with this person. Because, like I've said, even if it is legal for you to impeach, and he has done all the impeachable thing, you can also use a political solution to say, okay, having done that. But that is not saying that we should use political consideration to override the process of law. What I mean by that, that the real thing should be done. Now, you are not going to tell me that stop this impeachment and let Fubara continue to spend money outside budget. That wouldn't be reconciliation. I don't know what I said. There is no peace without justice. No peace. No peace can come without justice. Until justice is served, peace will not come. Now the question will be, first the question the elders or the members should be asking the governor should be, all of these things, did he commit it? Because we shouldn't just watch because of sentiment. We just, for want of peace. You know, let me tell you the danger in allowing anything go the way they think it should go. I'm not saying this person, I mean where, you know, some persons are thinking. The danger is that you may have, it has a capacity of producing maybe there's I don't know how to put a tyrant in the future. Somebody might come and say, if you notice some of my co-commentators, you know, analysts, some of them will come and say, yes, didn't Wike donate this to this place? You know, it looks like you are setting a precedent that is bad. Maybe they didn't look at the undercurrents that happened before that donation, where the donation came from, where these things came from. Because if you allow it, I will shock you that the next governor, which wouldn't be Phil Sobora, the next governor of Rivers State that will come, we now say, if these people have done this, let me even do the worst because people will come to my aid. Just don't forget. So you don't look at it, you must balance it with clear court mandate. Stop this. Look at the 8-point agreement that was signed before the president. The question is, what was wrong in those 8-point agreement? The court also named those things. That will be the question. What was wrong in it? Recognize this person as a speaker, allow the House to correct, take back the budget, submit, bring back the people that you removed, that it went as a result of the crisis.
Their names.
Resubmit their name because they went as a result of the crisis. Do this and do that. What was wrong with that? And people don't look at those items. Now they have told you again, they went into another agreement. What has he accepted? Don't forget that during the during the state of emergency, that it was him who went begging these people that they should come back. In that begging,
they should reconcile.
They should reconcile. I know the agreement. When people are talking about agreement, I know the agreement. So what was that agreement? They started from the local government chairman. Those who are initial, those whom this is not the first agreement that he has reneged. The first agreement was upon even being nominated as candidate of the party. We must look at this. I don't hate Fubara as a person, but I want things to be done right. You see, we have this way, and I think that yes, Wike and other political gladiators should learn in this hard way. Because I think what they do is, as soon as you see somebody who does not say no to anything, you believe that person, their definition of loyalty is on that person. Oh, this person is loyal.
Oh, yes, member.
Oh, yes, because whatever you say, yes, sir. Whatever. Some of us who can go to you and say, sir, this thing you told me, yes, sir. But, sir, don't you think it should be like this? That kind of person should be the person you should be adopting. Because if you agree on anything, the agreement is coming as from the point of logic and reasoning. That's the kind of people you should be accepting. I'm on national television. I stood before a governor. I was appointed a very high tier in River State. And we sat, and I met with some persons. They brought a 5-point this, and I brought 5 points. And I said, sir, number 1, 2, 3, I will do it. But number 2, I want number 10, I want you to explain this more. The other one, I will not, sir. This is the reason why I will not. And I made a paper on it. Okay, if you are not going to know, they appointed another person. I went to my house and relaxed. Nobody has said go and remove cheesy. Nobody has said go. It's only hunger. And I have a family that manages my hunger. I go and stay. That is a man. It's not when, because you want to go to this office, everything they tell you is correct. You can't even say, okay, look at a governor that sat before a president. 2 persons enjoying immunity. 2 persons enjoying immunity. The governor enjoys immunity. The president enjoys. See, a governor can decide not to see the president. Do you know that? If your house is intact. You sat before a president. They brought an agreement. The president will read this one and say, do you all agree? This one will say, I agree. You say, I agree. Say, sign. He will read the other one. He didn't say anything. He just came back to River State and people met you. And then he came back and said, no, I was coerced. How? The president will not flog you. They will not lock you. They will not remove you. But he said, sir, this one, including if I was even the governor, those people, they said I should submit their name. I would tell the president, sir, I want the source of the appointment to reappoint other people, to renominate other people. But for this person, sir, no, sir. The reason is simple. They will no longer see me as governor. And what will tell you? You just came, resigned, and I went and brought you back. There's a way. I will tell you that. And the government, I mean the president and everybody will see reasons to that. If you nominate somebody to me, the only condition I used to give you is, this is my criteria for nomination. This person should be a primary 6 holder. I'm using that as an instance. The person you're going to nominate for me should be a primary 6 holder. The person should be creative. Now, sir, when you nominate the person, sir, I don't have any problem with that. But if I find any iota of disloyalty on the person, I will fire the person and come back to you for renomination. I didn't go out for you. I wouldn't renominate you. I'll still bring it back to you. Sir, this person you gave me is not. Please, I'll renominate. That is character. Character is not saying yes here and then going to say no here. Or saying no here and going to say yes here. It looks to me that the governor says what the last person says to him. If I come and say to the governor, you see, this thing we're doing is not good, can we do that? It's okay. Then he goes out, the next person, then before he sees the media, the last person that says this is what he will say. And that's not good. So, in this reconciliation, as much as I believe in reconciliation, as much as I want peace, I will also, don't forget that I have said, I know you. You will say, Cheesy, you once said this. I told you that peace, dialogue is not the only way to peace. War also is also another way to peace. That's why they send peace, what's it called? People on peace mission.
They call it peacekeeping.
Peacekeeping. And they go with war. There is gun, there's everything. They go kill people is peacekeeping. Because sometimes you use force to achieve peace. So sometimes impeachment may just be what we need for peace. But if the man says, okay, look, I've seen all that I have done. I'm also not saying the assembly does not have any wrong. Maybe there are things we don't know. But if they sit down and say, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Honesty. This is what they have done. No, this is why I didn't do it. So why would you not do it? It's not your personal property, for instance. I heard people, somebody called me on Nigerian Info and was asking me a question that people said part of the reason why Assembly is very angry about this thing is that the governor refused to accommodate their constituency projects. And I asked the question, what did he say? Their private project or constituency project? You know what they're saying to the governor? That you need to bring up project in the 32 constituencies of Rivers State. And that's his own constituency. What is wrong with that? I said, if that is the case, and here you bring in those things as, okay, this is what we're going to do. Guys, for this section, for this year, we're going to accommodate A, B, C. For the other year, we're going to accommodate. That is negotiation. You can't also tell, because they represent people. They represent people. People don't look up to them. Let me tell you, we are not too knowledgeable about the works of the assembly. So even the people who work for the assembly is also expecting something from them. Unbeknown to them that what we should expect is the lawmaking, good lawmaking. But we also expect rise by December. We expect certain things. And so when people expect, this is our culture. And I tell you that every policy should speak the dialect of the host environment. And that's our dialect. Our dialect is that with this guy is representing us in the assembly, we don't even know how much the person gets. We believe that the person should give us job. We believe that the person should create something. Yes, as we grow, we begin to understand more. But this time, constituency project, the National Assembly does it, all states does it. Your predecessors have done it. So what's wrong with constituency project? Nothing wrong. If they say so, then you can come up to say, guys, you now submitted the budget, and to find out whether you put it. Now let us see that you have submitted every other item in the budget and the constituency project wasn't there.
But the question now will be for the people, for the question of constituency projects or not. How is it possible that the assembly is reacting negatively to a budget that they have not seen? So if people are coming up with the story that, oh, they are lawmakers, that the grounds they have with the governor is that there is no constituency project. Now, I would be hard-pressed to ask them the question, how is it the assembly have not seen the budget? But you, that is raising that concern, have seen the budget. Because how did you know? Igbo people will say, like, is the market that you know, the market where you sabi, they buy. Yeah. Let me speak in pidgin language. So how did you know that there is no constituency project in the budget? That would be one question. Then, secondly, how is it that the assembly, they are fighting the governor, in quotes, over a budget that they have not even cited? And then the fight now is about constituency projects. Because I'm trying to make it make sense.
It does not make any sense. But let me even assume that some of them said that the governor said, they are quoting the governor, that is part of...
Has the governor presented the budget?
No. That the governor says that is part of the item they are demanding to be submitted in the supplementary budget. That's why he has refused to do that. No.
But the question would be, has the governor even submitted the supplementary?
No.
Has the assembly cited the supplementary budget?
No, I'm using this word. That's the reason why he has not even submitted the budget. That's people sit and give, and then people sit down and listen to those kind of trash. The question like you ask, have you now submitted budget accommodating other ones and leaving behind the constituency project? So that the assembly now, what would have happened is that, oh, he submitted the budget, we said there must be constituency project in there. No budget. The people are saying submit the budget. What you are using is outside the budgetary allocation. Bring in supplementary budget. Let us put in there so that we pass it as law. Are they not helping the governor? Those people are not angels. Don't forget. So I will not say they don't have their own fault. But you know why I said I would not also say they have 90. Oh, let me use the word. Let me not be too. 60% of the members of the assemblies were members of the last assembly. Some of them have been there for 8 years.
So they have experience.
They have experience. But you know where I keep holding them? They were the ones who when the National Assembly
brought
a bill
for financial autonomy of legislature, they Rivers State turned it down.
Voted against it
under Nyesom Wike as the governor.
As the governor of Rivers State,
and now he's biting.
Under Nyesom Wike as governor of Rivers State. Now they
did it to please the governor at the time.
You know, no.
So now,
it's not.
The tables have turned.
Now it's not just about pleasing the governor. There is something about, there is a saying that when these baboos, the children, there are some sayings that it's better put in pidgin or even Ikore. Ikore is the national language now. So, yes, Ikore is the national language. So, there are certain sayings that is being put, like, they say when the children, when they have finished eating, they say, Mommy, come and remove our teeth. We don't need food again. No, we don't need food until when they are hungry. They cry. We even need the food. Because having fed very well, when a governor is, that's why I told people that when a governor is romancing, palling with the legislators, bros, legislators, I told you one day that sometimes the governor may even go and spend something and then bring it back to the legislators and they will just put it.
It happened. Now this brings to mind what happened recently at the National Assembly.
Yes.
And between the National Assembly and the President.
Yes.
Where the failed coup at Benin Republic happened, and the President sent military intervention. It was after they have gone, and even these countries arrested our flights.
Yeah.
That President Bola Tinubu now went to meet the National Assembly. So he made that move, which is an impeachable offense, by the way, and a breach of our security. He made that move without the National Assembly. Yeah. It was after that National Assembly now had plenary, like, that was like putting the cat before the horse. How do they say it?
Or even the horse before
the whole thing was anti-clockwise.
Yes.
But basically, there was no noise. Nigerians only spoke after Nigerians expressed their displeasure. Akpabio went ahead, they did what they did. And, they even applauded the president and commended him. And, that's why one would say, I'm of the opinion that they shouldn't even have that kind of relationship, so that proper oversight functions will be carried out, like in the case of Rivers State.
What is happening in Rivers State is an eye-opener. In fact, do you know that before this time, as conscious as I am politically, that before this time, I hardly will know more than 2-3 assembly members. Do you know that? Because
you're just concerned with your own representative.
Representative, and then do what I want to do. And concerned with my representative because, of course, I'm a stakeholder in Ikore, so I will know. But I can tell you that Anthony Makugwa, who represented me for 8 years, I didn't go to his office for 8 years. Not one day.
But now you are forced to be communicating.
Because you need to move. You need to know what is happening. Now I now know that, the assembly even have function. Because I thought they don't have function. The assembly even have function. Now we know when assembly is meeting and not meeting. Now we know that assembly can say no to something. And we are not too used to that. That's why part of which I said, even Sim, who has not been that thing, is still learning. It's a process. Because he's been just...
But then the question I want to ask you with regards to this move by the monarchs is this. Considering that political solution has failed, legal solution has failed, extreme political solution, because the emergency rule was a very extreme one, very extreme and very controversial. And one would expect that having stayed out of office for 6 months, both the assembly and the governor, probably they will come back and do everything humanly possible to be civil to each other and just, get this job done to avoid a possible reoccurrence or even worse. But it is clear that even that failed as well. So if the first agreement did not work, the second agreement did not work, extreme political solution failed, Supreme Court judgment failed, how sure are we that this will work?
Maybe this is spiritual. Because I don't understand. Let me say why I say so. There is, this may not work as in, even though we pray it does work. This may not work as in having Fobra do the needful. But this may work in the other way. Or what is the other way? I had somebody, just short of mentioning his name because he's not already. I went to university and met him in year 3. And I came to final year, he was still in year 3. And I was a student union, we were student in executive. So some of us went there. And he wasn't in year 3 because he couldn't write exams. Neither was he not brilliant. But because of certain, certain vices, right? So some of us who were in school said no, that there are some persons that are better out of the school. We will not expel him so that he will not be too dangerous. So we went to the school council. I represented the students. We went to the school council and I said, Senate, I need to address the Senate. They said, okay, what is that? I said, we are all sure that this guy can pass, right? We're also sure that this and this and this and this and this. Please just let him go. Do you understand that? Don't expel him. Don't let him just go to that year 3 and leave. Just give him a pass, let him go. There is something, this is a transitory kind of negotiation. Please, sirs, we understand this. Do this and do this and this. But even if he doesn't do it, the transition is going on. Let us just allow it go. So this does not degenerate into. We now know that we shouldn't have things like this. That's the possible way it's coming. And Lauricia, before the impeachment notice, I told you that this man might be impeached, isn't it? And 2 days after that impeachment notice came, what I have said now is what is going to happen.
So, could you, what you have said now was said in parable.
Yeah, sure.
Could you simplify it so
no, I will
we
not.
understand what you
I
are
will
saying?
not.
So I didn't understand what you said.
Don't worry about it.
So what it means is that there is no communication right now.
If you take it that
The
way.
only thing that you have said here that I picked is that this crisis is now spiritual.
Thank you. You will not force me to say something.
So when you say spiritual, what are the spiritual forces?
The traditional rulers are also custodians of culture and tradition of our people. They are also spiritual. So it's a political, well, we use political.
No, you said the political crisis is now spiritual.
No, what I mean is that you came up with that we have used legal method and it didn't work. We have used political measures and it didn't work. When extreme political measure, which of course
we just came out of
the solar dictatorship,
yes.
in Defiance Act. That who said this one? And I said maybe spiritual, because if you put up traditional rulers, they come with customs, they come with libations and prayers and all of that. They're invoking the gods of the land. They may also say this is the gods. Okay, take an oath that this will happen. Maybe I'm just using that this can also be spiritual. They are not temporal and spiritual. Isn't it? That's what they are now. So maybe they are using the spiritual means because law has failed, political solutions has failed. But I can tell you that the same way they graduated that our friend, maybe just be the same way they will graduate this person, say, let him pass and go.
So now, if they are to tow that route, that still negates the principle of justice and fairness.
Sure, that you see.
So doesn't that weaken the assembly at the end of the day?
No. You must be doing this. What that means is stop the impeachment upon his agreement to do this. ABC.
But it has been established that agreements have been broken over and over and over again.
But if they say stop it upon this thing, because there is no assembly member that does not know that Fubara will not come back. All of us know, including those who are appealing. We know that he won't come, he won't be governor again, not in his life. We all know that. But what we are saying is that, how do we now manage it so we don't have an off-season election?
So now,
on-cycle election.
now we are getting to the...
You won't get me to that place because I will withdraw.
Because, the thing, the fear is the off-cycle elections. So if the fear is the off-cycle elections, it means that this impeachment procedure is just a threat. No. It will never be implemented.
You are saying, look at what I'm saying now. You said, who wouldn't listen to his fathers if the fathers are genuine? We have said so. And I've said that the fathers being genuine must also include telling this man that you are wrong, begin to do this, right? Okay. because already he had already committed an impeachment offense. That is gone. But right now we're saying, please don't use the past to impeach him. Wait for him for the future. You remember that I've said to them that if you don't impeach this, you are not coming back. In fact, part of what I told Lechi Prince yesterday or day before yesterday was that if he stops this impeachment process, he will not come back. He says, if we have all the reasons, if the man says, because the assembly is not just doing it to impeach Fubara, no, they are doing it to make sure that governance runs justifiably. So when justice is in place, why do you need impeachment, for instance? If somebody truly has come to repentance, why do you still want to force to impeach him? That's their way. So right now, they are saying if A, B, C, and they have a traceable that the man is doing what he said he's going to do. When you say impeachment, still impeachment, you see, when you have committed an offense already, and I hope you know that an offense you commit today can make you be impeached in 20 years. Do you know that? Do you know that? So it's like going to court and then you've done something and the police, and they close the file. Who told the police to close this file?
Just a quick question, because we are coming to the end of January in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I stand to be corrected, but I know that the budget by BAS was for a period of 6 months?
Yes, of course, for 2025 years.
So, does that budget cover salaries for 2026 January?
Yes, yes.
It covers salaries
to 31st of January.
To 31st of January.
Yes.
So, civil servants will receive their salaries this January.
Yes.
But we are unsure of February.
They will also receive. Can I tell you why?
Go ahead.
Now, the law states that the governor has the constitutional right to begin to use 30% of the budget as will be proposed. That's because of the civil servants.
Okay.
That's because of the civil servants. So, if you exhaust this 2025, which will end by the 31st of January, you still have the window of 3 months to still pay them. It is at that point that they will stop.
Okay, after 3 months.
After 3 months. So, but within that 3 months, it is believed that the assembly would have passed a new law.
All right.
So, in that new law, they know that 30% can be used while they are going on. That's why the Constitution gives the governor that right to so use that, because of the running costs, the civil servants and other little things. But outside that, it becomes illegal to even withdraw. Even the federal government will not release the allocation, again.
Right. All right. Because I'm actually quite concerned about civil servants and all the drama playing out and how it will affect the livelihoods of Rivers people at the end of the day.
I even want it to affect the civil servants so they will understand that what the man is doing is wrong. let me tell you. You know that the civil service somehow drives the economy. Because if you pay the salary, of course, money goes round somehow. Now, if a time comes where they stop the payment because the man has not done the needful, then you put pressure back to him. You understand that, oh no, what is wrong? Why are you not submitting this thing? Why does this man not want to recognize the anchor of democracy? The legislatures. Do you know, if FUBRA goes out of this, it means that FUBRA has ruled for 3 and certain months of years without legislators as sole administrator. We're not seeing that. So FUBRA is the highest tyrant I've seen in Nigeria. I have not seen somebody like that. Quietly. And people are using sentiments to look at that.
Now looking at the body language of both the assembly and, the executive in Rivers State, do you see any headway?
Of course. From the assembly, I know there's a headway. Even those members of the assembly who are pleading, they never said we have removed the assembly, they're only pleading. let us stop the impeachment. The question will be, oh boy, should I stop the impeachment? Okay. That means you will receive your salary now. Well, that's what it means now. At the end of this, the man is not submitting this thing. What did we tell the man to do? He's not doing it. Even you will be forced. All of this off-cycle thing, all of us will to hell it and say, let the worst happen. Because there's also a way. Let me tell you why the off-cycle thing will not even affect the university. There's a way you will drag it. And finally, it's impeached, say by June. I'm using that. By June. Normally, the acting governor will be there for 3 months. July, August, September. So INEC will ordinarily put the election around the general election. We know that. Ordinarily, INEC will say, we cannot do this in 2 months and then do the other one in 2 months. Let's just, because the next election will be by February. March. That is if
it will now affect because if that happens, it means that Martin Samehule will be the acting governor.
Of course, yes.
Of Rivers State.
Yes.
And if INEC should do that, probably or play that card, like you said, like extending it into next year towards the general elections, Martin Samehule will not be able to contest for Rivers State House of Assembly again.
He will.
He will contest as acting
governor.
Right, because
he's acting as a legislator. He's not acting. He's acting because he's a speaker.
You're right. So he can run
the office of the speaker that is acting. So he can run this election and come back.
Okay.
Or run for governor. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Okay. Very well. But then we pray for peace. But you are saying that you would rather to the according to you, your ideal peace right now is through war.
Through war, yes.
Through impeachment of the government.
Yes.
All right. Very well. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Do not go away. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. National Forum of Former Legislators has filed a suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking the deregistration of the African Democratic Congress and 4 other political parties over alleged constitutional and electoral violations. In the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/2637/2025, the forum asked the court to compel the enforcement of Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which empowers authorities to withdraw recognition from political parties that fail to meet statutory performance benchmarks. The parties listed in the suit include ADC, Accord Party, Zenith Labour Party, Action Alliance, and Action People's Party. National coordinator of the NFFL, Raphael Ibukwe, said the action was aimed at strengthening constitutional compliance and electoral integrity, arguing that the continued operation of non-performing parties undermines democratic accountability, and burdens Nigeria's electoral system. The court has fixed February 16 for hearing of the matter. Cheesy, interesting one there.
Yeah.
But one would say, to a large extent, I'm not surprised. Recall that APP is facing the same suits in Rivers State.
Yes.
But for some reason, that suit has been cooling somewhere. Probably, I don't know. But then, what is your take on this?
Well, you see, Nigeria will begin to play sentiment into it now. You know, a lot of people, probably commentators, will say, oh no, they are doing it for political reasons.
One-party system.
One-party system. No, but that's not true. Do we have a law that says political party must do A or B?
Win certain
seats.
Let's be clear on that law. They must win certain seats in the election.
In the election before the other election. Do we have a law like that? The answer is yes. Have these parties met it? The answer is no. They are not a newly registered political party.
So
they've existed,
they have won some
and they have been engaged in the election for more than 2 times, and they have failed to perform. So that means that ordinarily, INEC will come down, because I think the problem we have is each time you want to bring out the constitutional provision of a thing, people begin to define it from other dimensions. In fact, I do not see ADC feeding candidate as a person, not even from this angle of deregistration. INEC, the court should give them go ahead and for INEC to act in accordance with their provision. In fact, INEC was not supposed to wait for this. INEC was not supposed to wait for this. INEC would have deregistered them.
But the question is, why 6 political parties in this instance? There are other political parties.
Check those other political parties.
There are other political
like
parties that a lot of them. There are a lot of, I don't want to use the word mushroom parties in Nigeria. The question is, why selecting? I know that some of these mushroom parties have won election.
That is it. So they are no longer mushroom parties. They are bigger than these parties. YPP won a Senate. Maybe he forgot it. Other political parties have won. Labour has people. So which other parties? Just name one political party that does not have somebody in either House of Assembly or National Assembly. That's the point. But this ADC does not have a councillor. For 12 years, these parties they have mentioned does not. So that's the thing. Just mention this other party.
Party at the low. So which is not enough.
A local government party now. That's not it. Now that's what I'm just saying. That even when you were talking about this local party owner, when I was actually mentioning councillor, I was only just bringing you to
the lowest electoral
process that they haven't won. Nobody in the state of assembly. Though if they have just one person in the state assembly, they won't register them. They don't. We need to look at the constitution and see what the constitution provides for it. INEC was not supposed to wait for a court pronouncement before even carrying out that. You see, we should INEC that will say this is it and this is it, and the next court going to court and INEC will register you. The law. That is the law. They are not. You know that law also does not stop parties to new registration of parties. You can register political parties. But that political party, if you are tested
election cycles, you're expected to win these seats.
These seats, YPP has other. You can't talk about ABGA, of course. You can't talk about Labour. I want you to bring out the parties. Is it Accord? You can't talk about Accord. So I want you to bring out those parties that haven't won election like that. But these other parties, ADC has just been there on paper. You know, that's why people just came from nowhere and became national chairman of ADC, because it didn't exist. So that's so when they say go to court, I was even thinking that INEC is just that you know, somehow we look at we compromise justice with certain sentiments. As INEC national chairman, I will deregister you without even the court. It is the court that will come and it is you that will go to court to tell me that. So I don't think it's a straight way. In fact, after 16th of February, by March, and that's also a strong signal to those in ADC. It's a strong signal. If you watch, all of these PDP governors who are defecting to party hardly goes to ADC. They would have gone to ADC. Parties, you know, one of the PDP governors went to Accord or something, one of the parties. They know now, even then they know that that party cannot run election.
Some senators defected to APC, example, Senator Kingibe. Senator Kingibe defected to ADC, right? Am I mistaken?
Yes, no, you're not.
She defected to
from
ADC.
Labour Party.
Yes,
to ADC. Mm-hmm. Because Obi moved to ADC now. You know why now? They're all moving. You see, they are not calculating. They're not talking about them. The Kingibe knows that even if he was in Labour Party, he would still win. In FCT, will she come back as FCT minister, senator? No, she won't. She knows. So what she had done is ADC is the party coming up now by reason of sentiment, and so let me go and hold one strong field. That's all. She knows she won't win. So it's not. They have not won any election, but this is a strong sign. Please don't run election in ADC because you won't be a candidate. You won't even run. There won't be ADC on the ballot of Nigeria. It's the law. There's no sentiment in it. Some of us love those who are in ADC, but we love them too much to tell them the truth.
All right. So if this becomes a reality, that means that right now the only viable party in Nigeria right now is APC. We have Labour Party, we have PDP,
we have ABGA, we have YPP.
But the question is, which of them have what it takes to fight APC or challenge APC?
No. It is the people. It is, see. You know, why I'm particular about YPP is to tell you that if Yoruba won via YPP.
We're talking of presidential election.
No, I'm coming. I just see. All politics is local. All politics is local. So whether you like it, even the presidential election is done at the unit. So when you see power brokers go to enter into a political party, that party today will rise. That's what it takes to win.
All right.
So what we are saying is that this whole of this energy they are using in ADC, they now have a better window now to run to one other party, even Labour Party.
The Labour Party with their crisis?
Even, see, crisis, let me tell you something about crisis, even including the PDP. There is no way that the court will say that PDP will not have candidate, because what the court will do is to dissolve the National Assembly and ask them to constitute a caretaker. Because they are party.
Dissolve the National Executive.
Dissolve the National Executive and ask them to have a caretaker so they can run. The only problem that you see people being threatened about that is that will take so long. I discussed with other persons that will take so long so that the national would not have had that enough energy and impetus to prosecute an election such as this. That's just it. Do you understand? If not, the party will be on the ballot. So what you need is a party that will be on the ballot first. And so if you have, for instance, if you have a cheesy masla from his village, in all the villages, it's difficult to win another party to win us there now. It's hold this thing. The only problem I'm having with the ADC people is that they are populated by people who do not have hold their locals. They can't even win their locals. So assuming they are even in another party, they can't even win their locals. If you know you can win their locals, that's why I'm using Ifayoba, that he had to go to YPP and won. So you can go to your local and win them.
All right, very well. Moving forward, Abba Abubakar, son of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressive Congress, pledging support for President Bola Tinubu's second-term bid in 2027. He was formally received at the National Assembly by the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, alongside other APC leaders from the Northeast. Announcing his defection, Abba described the move as personal and ideological, directing members of his political structure, formerly known as the Haske Atiku organization, to join the APC and mobilize support for Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The group was subsequently renamed the Haske Bola Tinubu organization, signaling a full political realignment. Reacting, Atiku Abubakar said his son's decision was entirely personal and consistent with democratic norms, while stressing that he does not interfere in his children's political choices. The former vice president reaffirmed his opposition to the APC, citing concerns over governance and economic hardship, and vowed to continue working towards offering Nigerians an alternative. Chizi,
Yeah.
what is your take on this development?
Purely is that Atiku has shown that he has trained his children to be independent. That's all. It's not anybody who thinks cheesy will say otherwise. That's what it means. He has adults as children. He has adults as children. When you're 18 years and above, I mean, they have the right to make their personal decision on where they want to go to. I know that his first son, what's his name again? His first son is a commissioner with Think 3 in PDP. Commissioner of Works. The man didn't defer to the ADC when the father left for ADC. He just told the father that he won't go. He's here. He's in PDP. He has his right to make his choice. They are not young children. But again, that also tells you that most of them do not have belief in this their ADC thing. They don't have belief in ADC at all. Because they were all in PDP with their father. They worked for their father. All of them. All of them worked for their father. But today, these children have said, "Okay, Daddy, you are 70s and 80s now. It is time for us to make our political choice." Yes, they're making their political choice. What's wrong with that? I think that democracy is growing in Nigeria. People should make their choices. That shouldn't be a yardstick to judge Atiku or otherwise. For me, it's as plain as that. I speak the truth when I see them. I mean, the guy is an adult. He has a right to choose. I have in my house, I have brothers and sisters. We have different political views and political parties. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You understand that if you don't teach the obedient thing, I thank God that my daughter, in fact, that was even the reason why I didn't allow her come back from school that time, because she would have voted for Obi against my own. So it's not.
So you didn't allow her to come?
I didn't, because I wanted Obi to fail. So why would I allow her? So I just said, okay, it's not me not allowing her. She is not. She is. She has
said you did not allow her.
Yes, let me tell you how I didn't allow her.
Okay.
Is that you can be independent ideologically, but you're not independent financially. So, and I have another analytical view. So I will frustrate it now by not giving you the money to come back. So if you feel you can, either you pay your way, come back, vote, and go back. And luckily, Nigeria had not developed to where you can vote from anywhere. So she couldn't vote. All of that noise just stopped at that. Myself and my wife, who didn't like Obi, stayed and voted. My two children didn't come back. I don't know what their minds are. So, but when they grow to be financially independent, they can take a decision they want, and I won't kill them. After they took decision to study whatever they want to study, they will take decision to marry whomever they want to marry. And so, and wherever. I don't care about that. So it's their personal decision. Mine is to train them and allow them to take a personal decision. And that's what exactly had happened. These guys are people that have grown. You know, they can take personal decisions.
But then there are certain persons that are saying there are different reactions.
Of course there are.
This move, and some are saying that it is a failure on the side of Atiku Abubakar. Like, how do you expect Nigerians to vote for you when your children, because apart from all of that, you know, if your children do not believe in you at this moment, to stand behind you, throw their weight behind you, campaign for you, why should Nigerians vote for you?
The problem we are having in Nigeria is the problem of squeezing choices. We don't allow people to make their choices.
No, they've made their choices, so we are now asking.
No, that's the question.
So critics are now saying, if your children made a choice and their choice is not, you are not their choice, then why should Nigerians vote for you? Why should Nigerians choose you when the people that know you intimately do not trust your capacity to lead?
No, they only see they have two options. They say we're following this ideological. There are people in US, there are families in US that you see they are torn in between the Democrats and Republicans.
What is the ideology in Nigerian politics, please? What is the difference between APC and PDP ideologically?
APC and PDP, that's different.
So, good. So there are no ideologies.
No, it could be on person. People can look at. See, there are places where your father is better. You know them. You know that this is where your choices are. Allow people make their choice. Don't judge people from. That is why Nigerians think that the sins of your father is the one you are paying for today. No, allow yourself. Allow yourself. So for this one, nobody can bamboozle me into accepting that Atiku has failed because his son, who is an adult, has made his choice. The man has just followed us to make a choice. So you
are of the APC, yes?
Of course, yes. Of
so
Antiribu, unrepentant.
Yeah, so it's only fair and just that, you commend Atiku's son's position, which is also entrenched in the Constitution. The right to association, freedom of choice as well. But like I questioned, I raised the concerns by critics, and it's actually a very salient concern. No, if your child does not trust you, you are competing or you are running an election with another person, and your child, who is of age and who has the freedom to make choices, comes out to throw his weight behind your opponent, and not just his weight, but his structure and his, all what influence he has behind your opponent, and even tells people to vote for your opponent and not for you. What does that say?
There are persons who are not working for Atiku Abubakar because of the boy. There are persons. Nigeria, the judgment in Nigeria is there are persons who will not work for Atiku Abubakar because of Abbas. I go to the house. I go to that family. I know his character. I know the other person's character. I know the one that is my friend and the one that is not my friend. There are things that we can't do together. There are persons who are not. There are also persons who work for Atiku today because he's not any longer there. I mean, we should allow that. Nobody will force me to do that. It does not. It does not say anything. Let the man campaign. This man has made his choice. You make your choice. Every other person should make their choice.
Right.
Make your choice. I mean, that's how I love to train my in our state here. When we were in APC working for the APC governorship, Andrew Uchendu was our leader in Ikwere. His son was working with Wike. I mean, and people said they wanted to make, how can Andrew be our leader? And his son, and Andrew said, this young man is an adult. He takes his decision. He does everything. The only thing is when I'm discussing my party, I will not let him know. But when we're discussing family, we talk as family. That's all. We should grow to that extent where wife can decide to back another person.
All right.
We should come to that extent. In my village today, let me tell you, ask anybody, just ask them about Ward 7 in the Ikwe local government. During election, people just come to Ward 7 and eat. You know why? We don't do this. Whether you are in opposition or all of that, you are free to exercise it. Ours is go and get the people, turn the people's mind, and then let them give you the vote. You can't come and coerce people to do something.
All right. Very well. Thank you so much, Chizi. It's a pleasure having you today on Open Conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much, our viewers, for staying connected to us, as always. And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events, coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Efastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, Atlantic TV Net. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching, I am Laurentia Ugu. Transition News comes up next. Do not go away.